record?
Yep. Recording signal on the right.
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Dog. It is Monday, May 18th. I'd like to welcome you guys to another One Take podcast. To my right, I got Legit Anime. Right below me, I got Angelo and Paul, if he decides to hop in and out. And over here to the right corner, we got Prime Hokage. Today, we just gonna cover a few different topics. We're gonna cover some My Hero Academia, some Star Wars, and some live action anime adaptation of what we think should be incorporated to live action film or television. First thing we want to talk about today, though, it's just a general question that most people usually have when they discuss Star Wars and what is your favorite Star Wars film? I recently did a list about mine, so you guys know that mine is The Force Awakens, which, for obvious reasons, they gave us the greatest, the best protagonist so far in the Star Wars saga, and Rey. They gave the best side character, even though his character kind of got diminished after that, but we only talk about the first movie, which is Finn. And Poe's cool and Kylo Ren's cool, but hey, the main two characters for me that really sold The Force Awakens are Finn and Rey. But I want to jump over to my right and with Legit Anime and let me know what's your favorite Star Wars movie.
Simple, easy. That's gonna be Revenge of the Sith. Culmination of everything going on. Anakin's story turned to Darth Vader. Biggest moment for me out of it, whenever Obi-Wan actually has to see him turn, whenever he doesn't want to, whenever he has to put him down. And to me, I just basically the entire time regret. Don't do it. Plain simple. And Ray's not the best protagonist. Sorry, I'm done.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, you called it. I don't know what you were trying to say, but I definitely did hear it. It's all good though. I like Revenge of the Sith. I think it's in my it's in my top 3 or top 4 Star Wars film. Cuz I'm gonna go to now, Angelo, I'm gonna go to you. What's yours?
I'm gonna have to go with the Revenge of the Sith, of course. But like you said, A New Hope is good. I had high hopes from the beginning. It's just you can't miss the classic, man. Can't miss the classic.
If you want to call it a classic, yeah, but is it really though? It's the best of those 3. Well, then again, now that I say that, I do feel like Revenge of the Sith is the best of the prequels. And I also feel like The Force Awakens is the best of the new trilogy. A lot of people probably feel like Empire Strikes Back is the best of the original, even though I probably think it's the least. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's just everybody's opinion is going to be different. Because go ahead and finish it off why you like Revenge of the Sith is your favorite Star Wars movie.
Because you know it's coming. Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars movie. I would have to say favorite moment of that, this was recently revealed to me, is when he becomes Vader, right? When you got the robots working on him and he comes into the suit and he asks, "Where's Padme?" And Palpatine tells him, "You must have killed her in your anger." I think that's what he said verbatim. And he was like, "No, I couldn't have. She was still alive when I let go." And he was right. And it was just Palpatine's manipulation to kind of seal that fate of turning him into Vader. And then his anguish, right, of oh shit, person. I feel like to me it was kind of a moment you really just did all of that for nothing. Because and as far as you know, she hadn't quite died yet. I think we go right after that, we go to the scene when she's giving birth. But in his mind, she just died. And so you kind of think about well, you just did all of that for nothing, right? So it's kind of a big scene to me, him, that transformation into Vader. And at the same time, well, if she's dead, I have no reason to go back to the light side. So I think small scene, but a big scene at the same time.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, when he comes out and just no, he's super like that. That's funny. But my biggest thing about the Revenge of the Sith is the fact that they say and again, I'm pretty sure you guys can clarify this, like if it's incorrect or anything. But they say Padme, like how she died, like she died from a broken heart.
Yep.
It was never clarified in the movie. In the movie, all that stated was she lost the will to live. There was clarification afterwards, one stating she died of a broken heart, and later, also again, other media, not the movie itself, but other media stating that basically what happened was actually Palpatine siphoning her energy to help heal Vader. So there's other things that was added afterwards, but as far as in the movie, only thing I said is she lost the will to live. All it was.
Yeah, Padme went out pretty sad. Padme went out pretty sad.
I think that siphoning thing is a bit of a reach. Legit. I think if she lost will to live, you know, Anakin was it. Like they were going, you know, they was already breaking rules and was going to have kids and, you know, be married and be happy. I think get out of a broken heart. I think she just gave up. Lost will to live. Same thing.
Yeah, and also it's the weirdest thing to me to where it's like Anakin does all of this to like, hey, I want to have the power. Like I think at that moment, like we realized, hey, I'm supposed to have the power to save people. That's what you promised me.
Right.
And the moment I joined, you tell me like, nah, that's not possible. Like she's already gone. Like at that very instant, I would be like, yo, I just killed some kids. I just fought my master. Yeah, I fucked up, but this guy is not about the shit he talking about.
Right. That I agree with that. Like I think that's the problem with the gap between the original trilogy and then the prequel movies is that he gave you nothing he promised, and then like we know he did because like y'all was together for like 30 years, and you never taking the power to bring people back. But somehow, this is probably going too far. In the sequel trilogy with Disney, he's so like, did he know this and never taught Vader and brought himself back, or did he learn it after Vader died? It's just a whole mess of thing. But I agree with you, right? Like he did upheld nothing. I didn't kill kids. I fought my master. I threw Samuel Jackson out. I hope you throw Samuel Jackson out a window. Like,
to add insult to injury, even in the sequels, they added force healing. They added force healing in the last movie.
Like all these things and like Anakin.
Light side ability. Seriously, insult to injury.
Yeah, it's just like a spit in the face. Like I just probably would have like. I know there had to be a moment where they were just kicking and he'd be like, "Hey, you remember you told me that time like I can bring people back? Why the fuck you still ain't told me this shit? That's like the main reason I'm like angry with you, bro. Like you an old ass dude, like young man. But like I don't know. Like I don't think this relationship is what you made it seem to be, man.
Big kick in the face. Like that's my whole thing about the last movie, The Rise of Skywalker, because like I'm an Anakin fan. I like the Skywalkers. Right? I love their whole family.
Are we hearing this?
But like for the most part, I mean, I guess like the only Skywalker who kind of, I guess, you know, brings some honor to the family is Kylo, and he's a Skywalker, but technically his last name is Solo. It just didn't bring that whole Skywalker saga full circle to me, and then like Rey just like taking the name at the end. It just didn't. Like I I don't feel like it was a slap in the face to Anakin, which is like we don't have to go, but like which is my issue with the Disney. They added too much. It's like hindsight. Like, well, why didn't they do this? You know what? Because if Anakin had force healing, then like that solves a lot of problems. Like just solves.
Yeah, I think it just solves a lot of problems for Jedi in general.
Qui-Gon wouldn't have died.
Yeah, Obi-Wan would have hit him real quick. Like Qui-Gon wouldn't have died. Obi-Wan would have just healed him real quick.
Yeah.
So, but going off that, since we're going to actually go to a different rabbit hole, want to go ahead and move on, Moses?
Yeah. I mean, this one is just we're gonna get into our favorite moments from like just the Star Wars movies and like in general. Your favorite moment, the moment that you like always go back to when like whenever somebody speaks of Star Wars, you think of this moment. Yeah, for me, I think it's kind of harkening back to kind of a little bit what we talked about, and I think it's a mixture of like the old and the new. And by that, and the scene I'm talking about is probably the scene at the end of Rogue One, in which like this is from the Disney Star Wars. Yet it made you appreciate and like really feel the depth of Darth Vader and like who he was. And it's the scene where Darth Vader pretty much take out the resistance like a boss. Like there's I can't tell you the feeling. I can't describe the feeling I got like in the movie theater watching after I just saw this amazing movie, a movie that I love. I'm thinking like if it ends right now, I am very satisfied. And then you just see them on this ship, and you hear him, and then you see that lightsaber go, and you just like, oh shit, like what he finna do? And then all those stories, the reason Vader was such a prominent villain or prominent character all through the 80s, 90s, and like whatever, it's like you actually got to see why. Like this guy, like you run into him, you don't stand a chance. And it made me not only appreciate what that Star Wars film did, it made me appreciate a lot of the other stuff that came before. Because that was my real introduction into the Darth Vader in which how I look at him now. Like, if it wasn't for that, I kind of probably would just looked at him like, yo, he's just this old guy who, you know what I'm saying, had this weak ass lightsaber fight with Obi-Wan. But like after this, I'm like, every time I go back and look at any of those films, I see that Vader, the Vader that I saw at the end of Rogue One. I see that Vader now. You know, so it made me like, and like since he's like the central part of Star Wars, like in the prequels it was Anakin, and the original trilogy it was him, and even in the new Disney stuff, it's like they're still always gonna bring up Vader. Like Kylo Ren wants to be like Vader. It's always because of him, and after seeing that scene right there, it made me be like, yeah, I see why you want to be like this guy. This guy was the real deal.
Can't argue with that. It's a fantastic scene. Like, and I feel like for me, I go back and forth between like Vader and Yoda, and I'll talk about like my favorite scene in the Star Wars movie. Like watching the original trilogy, right? Like you see Yoda and you hear about these great things, and he's this Jedi Grandmaster, whatever the case may be, but you don't ever really get to see him do anything in the trilogy. I think he brings Luke's X-wing back up with the Force, like you see that. But like as far as like his lightsaber skills, you don't get to see that. But in the prequels, you do. And my favorite scene is him fighting Dooku, and he walks out, the gate opens. He has his cane, as you see him do, and he throws the cane down and opens up his road and calls his lightsaber over. And then proceeds to do all these jumping flips and this acrobatic fight with Dooku. And you see him use the Force a little bit. And then he proceeds, after the fight, Dooku kind of gets away, to call his cane back and goes back to walking. Like, I don't think it's like a huge, like, effective, like, doesn't really have a whole lot to do with the main story at heart, but like getting to see Yoda in action, we've heard kind of all of these great things about him in like the prequel movie. Who he was and whatever. That's probably one of my most enjoyable moments in like all of the Star Wars films. You get to see him in action a couple times, but that particular fight was like one of my favorites to see.
Yeah, that was a great moment. That was a fucking fantastic moment. Angelo?
Going with Yoda, I would say is one of my favorite scenes from the old ones. But like the newer ones, I have to give it to Kylo with the first one, when he stops that laser.
Yeah.
No, not even Darth Vader did that. I give Kylo that. Not even Darth Vader did that. But when he did that, gave his speech and told him just kill everybody, and then he looks at Flynn and then flexes by letting it go. I mean, you can't top that in the new ones, bro. I also like the part where Kylo Ren, the war scene, and he's just unloaded on Luke, and he's not even really there. I mean, he's casting a fucking hologram of himself with his mind, clean across the fucking universe. You can't top that either. It's just a whole bunch of
stuff we've never seen before.
Right? Yeah, we've never seen it.
Yeah, those are things you don't see in the prequels or the
Is it Grace over here?
But
I think
that scene of at the beginning of at the end of Rogue One, where he comes out the lightsaber from the dark alley. That's just top. That's just it, bro. You know what's gonna happen, and they don't have to show you. They don't, but it's clear as day what happened.
Yeah. Oh, we see a lot of motherfuckers get killed because there was a moment he held the guy up with the force while fighting others, and then walked by him and cut him in half.
Yeah.
So it's like, this guy's the real deal. I wish the Disney Star Wars films would have played with like that being able to like stop the blast a little bit more. I think we were talking about it yesterday. Like if you incorporate the two scenes that you're talking about, Angelo, which like him, Kylo Ren stopping the blast, and the Luke scene where like Kylo would like pretty much send everything at him, instead of Luke just like, you know what I'm saying, still standing there. I wish after the smoke cleared, like all the blasts was like right there, and like Luke had stopped all of them because he is that powerful. He is that powerful of a Jedi. I think that would have like it would have been dope to like harken back to something amazing we saw in the first 5 minutes of the Force Awakens and put that in like the Last Jedi. Except those fans were just I feel like if J.J. Abrams probably would have been the one over there. He probably would have did something like that. I wouldn't need, because those two were like still like completely separate things. Go ahead, Fred. I mean, legit.
So basically, for me, I already mentioned my favorite moment was whenever Obi-Wan had to, fight Anakin and then cut his limbs off because of the tension, the feeling that I correlate with that. Besides that moment, the other one, to me, that tied a bunch of different stories together, a bunch of movies together, was whenever Yoda came back in The Last Jedi. He came back as a Force ghost, called down the lightning on the tree. Dope as fuck. Reason I love it so much is that, one, I never thought I would see Yoda again, period. I never thought I'd see him again. He was done with Star Wars. I wasn't expecting him. So to me, it was a total surprise. Glad I got to see him one last time. And it ties back to what Obi-Wan said in A New Hope. You strike me down now, I'll come back more powerful than you can imagine. Yoda proved that. And plain simple, those are just my two favorite Star Wars scenes. Just hands down. But as far as iconic Star Wars scenes, you can name so many. I mean, like, example, Death Star blowing up. When it comes to it, whenever the Clone Wars, whenever they're surrounded and fix an attack, Mace taking down, Jango Fett's head. Yoda fucking Dooku. Like you can name so many great iconic Star Wars moments, but my two favorite are just those.
Yeah.
Another thing. Fred reminded me. Another thing I liked. Well, I say it, but it's gonna sound real fucked up. Is that I think it was in Rogue One where they launched the Death Star, and they attacked the Death Star and they killed all of that whole fucking planet system.
Yeah.
Like you see people just looking at it and they know they've accepted it. This is it. There's nothing you can do. I mean, to me, that right there was fucking tragic. It was important too because
you talking about when they destroyed when they destroyed multiple planets?
Yeah.
No. In Rogue One, when they destroyed the city and they made a giant wave.
No. I think
he's talking about the star system. When they destroyed the star system.
Force Awakens.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
and they just wiped out that whole planet system. Like to me, that's like this is why the Death Star should have been destroyed. Like you watch that, and you're like, well, yeah, Death Star needs to go. That's a problem.
It's like a space nuclear weapon. Yeah.
Star Killer base.
Yeah.
Star Killer base.
I think one thing we should take into account and think about is y'all talk about that Luke moment. This is also a man who cut himself off from the Force and was able to do that. Like, remember, they weren't able to find him because Luke cut himself off of the Force. So, like, other Force
he was rusty.
Couldn't sense him. Like, he cut himself off of the Force and then proceeded to project himself halfway across the galaxy. Like, I think that's impressive in itself. Like, this dude ain't been training. He cut off, the source of his powers and then, did something that we had never seen anybody do. Like, we saw him, force project himself. And I think the other thing is, he force projected the version of himself that would mess with Kylo mentally the most. because that was like the younger version of him that was eating Kyla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're right.
And Kylo hadn't seen it, so he didn't know what to expect. He didn't know, like, I don't know how this guy looks. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's something I really didn't think about it.
I thought that was. I think that's a pretty deep moment, like pretty tactical and like Luke's, like from Luke's point of view and what he did to do that. I thought that was a great scene.
Yeah. I would go. Ooh. What? How long we in, Cuz, right now? How far we in?
We are 21 minutes in.
Okay. We're going ahead and go to next week. We're gonna do like the worst moments in Star Wars because I just kind of wonder, like, but yeah. This one we're gonna.
Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, Jar Jar.
Jar Jar Binks.
We'll spend 40 minutes, an hour on Jar Jar.
That was short. I can't think I can come back, Jar Jar.
Well, that's a highlight for next week.
Yeah, we can't.
Transitioning. Awkward transition. We're transitioning to anime. Overall thoughts on My Hero Academia season 4. We're gonna give our overall thoughts, and then we're gonna give like our favorite moments from the season.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Easy for me for the season. Favorite moment made me care for a character I didn't think I was going to care for. Basically, I always gave this character the middle finger every time I even saw him come up, especially because he did my boy Todoroki wrong and his family, all the different trauma, horrible deadbeat dad, Endeavor's fight. I say make me care. That's actually kind of a strong way of saying it. To be more accurate, it made me actually like the spotlight shine more on him than it was, because before I didn't care two shits about him. And all of a sudden, that fight to me just basically it called back on the All Might fight between him and All for One. I felt like similar similarities during the fight. I mean, you just basically started kind of sort of cheering for him as it was going. You getting amped. You saw Todoroki and his family's anguish. You saw that he was trying to get better by leaving the flowers for his, his wife, whatever. By him actually apparently talking to All Might prior, all these different things, small things, very minuscule. Apparently, him actually trying to be better, which we give people a lot of shit for them doing horrible things or being a horrible person. But whenever that person is trying to become a better person, I'm still gonna give them shit regardless because of what happened. But if they end up becoming a better person at the end, again, overall, I guess that's a good thing for the whole, even if shit still happens. And to me, I feel like.
Go ahead.
Well, to wrap it up, basically, that and I like the little nods to Fairy Tail during the episode. One of his son is named Natsu. You end up actually seeing a pink-haired kid who likes him, and he's a fire quirk, which is Fairy Tail. Anyway, go ahead.
I think I agree with what you said. On more of I think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this guy did some fucked up shit. Like, ain't no way we can like overlook that. But at the same time, I think the moment that got me like started to like seeing like, yo, he was headed in a different direction. And this is, I think, from season 3. And it was the moment where we walked, I want to say it was Todoroki, somebody walked by this like training room and you saw him in a like kind of like stressed and like, yo, this is not how I wanted to get to the position I'm in. And another moment from season 4 that got me was with Endeavor was the moment where he was talking to Inasa, and that's the kid from Shiketsu High, the wind power kid. And where at that moment where that kid was like, yo, this guy doesn't have the same look in his eyes and from when I first met him. I think he's trying to change. And like, you know what kind of person would I be? I think a lot of people probably should look at this like themselves kind of in a way. It's like, what kind of person would I be if I want to be, I supposed to be this person who all good or believes in people, but if a person is trying to change, I'm steady harking on to what they used to be. Honestly, all of us, if we all like walked around with like a sign on our head with the worst shit we've done, we're all pieces of shit, like in one way or another. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really any better than others. Now there's some people who've done some terrible things. Yeah, you'll probably be out of all of us. Yeah, yours will probably be your side will be pretty big. But like, listen, it's just like, yo, you got to get a guy a chance. The guy's trying. Like, you don't forget the shit he did, but at the same time, like, you don't want to like. Because if a person's trying to change and the only thing you keep doing is bringing up their past, that'll make them go back to be that person who they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll think like, yo, no matter what I do, nobody else forgive me, nobody ever like understands. So the fact that this guy's changing, and he saw that he should change before like it got too bad. And the fight with the no move like even made it that much better because it's like that no move was a version of him. Like, and I really appreciated Never after this season. Now, granted, that probably my favorite part is going to be Deku, regardless, because like that's my favorite character, and just seeing him with Ariel on his back, the guy's fighting one of the coolest villains I've seen in all of anime and Overhaul. The fact that like Overhaul's completely lost his shit, and Deku's fighting with a little girl on his back. Granted, she's serving a purpose back there. Like you see the potential of what he can become. I haven't had that feeling, and I bullshit you not. I haven't had that feeling I got when Deku went 100% since it's crazy. This is crazy since Goku went Super Saiyan. That's how big an impact when Deku went 100%. That was because it was something. I don't read the manga. You know what I'm saying? Nobody had spoiled it for me, luckily, so I wasn't expecting it. So when I saw it, I'm like, it took me back to that feeling of the '90s that you have, where it's like nowadays everything is spoiled for us. We everything is out there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's seen it, somebody knows this. We got leaks or some shit like that. It takes me back to that feeling I had in the '90s, where we was watching Dragon Ball Z every week, and we didn't know what was gonna happen next. And that's what that feeling when Deku went 100% gave me. So that's probably like that's the one for me.
I can see that because I think y'all had saw it before I did, and my immediate thought was like Super Saiyan Blue. Like it did like it took me to a DBZ state of mind. Right, you're right. I do think that first transformation of Super Saiyan was great, but I think I'm going to jump on the Endeavor bandwagon. I think to say what y'all are saying in a different way, I think for me, like the Endeavor is probably like my favorite part of this season because like he became a hero for the reasons I think people should be a hero. Like I think for him in the beginning, it was just about being the best. I want to be number one. But in that fight, it became, I need to be a hero to protect people, to be a better person. You know, as a Superman fan, I'm all about the big blue Boy Scout, you know, mindset. And so like when he kind of during that fight changed and was like, oh, I think he made the statement he could have easily been that Nomu, right? Just trying to gain more power, just a thirst for power in a different universe or whatever. Like his mind kind of changed. Like I got to protect these people. I got to do the right thing, which is my mindset. Like I really resonated with that. You're right. Like you can't just forget about all the shit that he did. But at the same time, like if you don't at least forgive it, like then he may not want to change or become a better person or be the hero that you really need him to be. And I think in that instance, he became the hero. I think like who deserved to be in my mind, he became number one. Like he just from a number standpoint of like, you know, most battles won or however they do the ranking, like he selflessly put his self in harm's way and went beyond his limits to protect the people in defeat. So like for me, like that was a change in my perception of it. And like, he's got to maintain it, but it was a change. Like to me, it put him on the right path.
That shit got me want to watch it, boy. I ain't lying. Where you at, Angelo?
I'm gonna go a different route, man. I like the Endeavor fight. I admit that was great, but to me, I'm gonna have to go with a million. Anything with a million in it this season was great. The whole fight with Overhaul. I mean, he lost his court, still handled business without his court. Dude was by himself, no power. Handled it. With his power, still whooping ass. Without it, he was like, I don't need it. I'm still gonna handle it. And he did. I mean, when you first meet Miro and he fights class 1A, he's by himself. He fights the whole class. And y'all know what happened there. And when the time came to handle business and we got to see what he had to do, my boy did not disappoint me at all. Since the first time I saw him fight, I was a million fan the whole way. And when he lost his court and still handle business, I gotta give him a million love on that. The million is my boy.
Yeah, I can't take nothing away from a million. I think it's a reason he became like a fan favorite immediately because here's my thing. When I first saw him, I was like, man, this guy, like, it's a reason like Sir wanted him to like pass his powers on him because he's like Lemay is the true definition of a hero. So when you see him and when I first met him, I'm like, there's no way this guy's this good. There has to be something more to him. Like he has to be putting on an act. Nobody is this good. And then as you watch the season and progressing, like you get to that moment where like he like loses his quirk just to protect this girl and continues to fight. That I'll never forget that image of him standing with those holes in him, like and he's still going with a smile on his fucking face. Right. That's a hero. Like that's really like the Superman mentality that I was trying to look for.
I don't think I'm as big a fan as Angelo, but I remember hitting y'all up and being like, is his quirk gone? Like, is it gone? Like, I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
Hitting y'all up being like, wait a minute, is it like gone? Like, it's got to come back, right? Like, it's not, like, Miro didn't just lose his quirk. Like, I think, Fred, you asked us about, like, sad moments. Like, watching him do what he do, and I think what hit home for Miro for me, Miro, is like, his father had the same quirk and couldn't do anything with it. And so, like, the work and perseverance that he had to go through to get to that point to where he was, him losing his quirk hurt because like it didn't come easy. It took like
True.
just all the different restrictions that are put on him when he uses his quirk, and then when he uses it to the degree that he does with all that he went through, and then he lost it.
And let's not forget,
right, guys? Right? Like I was like disappointed. Like, please don't tell me this dude's quirk is gone. So like, yeah, I resonate with that thought process. Like Miro losing his quirk, and then what he did was like, yeah, you're right, the definition of a hero.
Yeah. I think something out, and it's just like this is weird. It's going to be super, super weird for me to say personally, but I think when I watch My Hero Academia and I think about what these guys are and like the strength they are and like what they strive to be. Hate this because it's gonna be on the NFL, but they got like this Superman complex where it's like they show you how to be the best version of something. Like that's what Miro shows you. Like no matter what, I'm going to try to be the best version of myself. No matter like who I'm in front of, no matter what the odds are, I'm going to save you to the best of my ability with a smile on my face. And I was just like, shit. Like Superman would fit in so perfect in this anime. It's ridiculous. And what's crazy enough, I think they even say like the DC and Marvel characters exist in a way. I don't know if it's like in comics or something like that, but like they exist in this shit. And I think I was just like, yo, this is. I don't want to, but like I can't help but to love it. Like I can't help but to love the whole Superman complex of the characters.
Actually, one thing I do want to say right quick. So, are we all in agreement that if Miro would have got All for One, he would have not only deserved it, but probably would have been unstoppable?
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Miro with All for One is a scary thought.
Scary.
It's like Ultra Instinct Goku. Like that's what he becomes.
Like he's untouchable. And bro, yeah.
Yeah, Ultra
And his
Instinct Goku.
body,
Like that's what he becomes with
his body's like ready for it. Like his body's in that shape the way he can. I think he'd be able to handle it pretty well. Yeah, that would be scary. Boy, that would have been scary. That would have been a completely different show. We talk about Muriel in a whole nother. We talking about this whole show and a whole nother.
The show would be more like One Punch Man.
Like he got who got it.
The show would be more like One Punch Man.
Yeah, in a sense, like it really would. I'm gonna move on to another question. My Hero Academia related, but I'm going to phrase this question a lot different from what I phrased it yesterday. Give me your thoughts on Mineta.
He gets too much hate for what he actually is. Nothing wrong with being a little bit perverted.
What's the term? Pervy sage. He's like the pervy sage.
That's exactly what he is. Comedy relief.
Comedy relief.
Comedy relief. He gets too much hate. It's just a fictional character. I mean,
he's not completely useless. I think. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. I think you're going to like his quirk. I don't think his quirk is completely useless. The whole ball hair thing and what they do. I think Fred. I think you mentioned it's like perfect for immobilization, right? Making someone immobile or stopping them from moving. Like it. I think his quirk's probably best as like a sidekick to someone, and not maybe like here. Like I don't know how much he could do by himself against some top tier villains or even like mid tier villains, but as like a support guy, maybe even saving people, right? Giving the hero a break, distractions or whatever the case may be. I think from a support standpoint, like his quirk works in that, and then he is comedic relief. I know like people give a lot of crap to his pervasiveness in 2020 and the way he is with ladies or females or whatever the case may be. To keep it short and simple, like it's a cartoon, it's comical. I don't think it's in no way, form or fashion meant to be disrespect to.
Yeah, I definitely agree. To me, he's always actually been one of my favorite characters one of my favorite students in like class 1A, because when I think about probably the big three for me will definitely be Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku. But then when I just started thinking about everybody else under that, I'll probably have maybe like Kirishima up next, and maybe Ida. But when I think about, and like Froppy, of course, but like then I think about Mineta, I'm just kind of like, yo, the guy's funny, and like he's a person. One, he probably got a little man complex because he's super short. Like and you even see the reason why he wanted to be a hero, because he's like, yo, some people just kind of like want to be the guy, like want to have the spotlight, especially him being the smallest he is, and probably don't got a lot of girls himself. Probably just like, man, damn, I just want the attention, and like, yo, and like you can't knock how he does it, like. He's still, it's a reason he's in class 1A. Like, I don't think they just put him there just because, like, granted, there are other people I feel like in class 1B who probably can take his spot, but there are also some other students in class 1A who I don't really feel like deserve that spot.
Exactly.
Invisible Chick. I'm sorry. There has been 4 seasons, man. 4. I can think of moments Mineta has had. I can't think of any moments she's had. In the first season, she fought with Todoroki. He didn't even know she was there. He was fighting villains while she was there, and he didn't even know. Like, so I think about Mineta when, like, even when he fought Midnight, like during the training. Like, I'm like, yo, he's smarter than what you give him credit for. He's always funny. So I'm like, I really like the character.
I don't have a problem with Mineta. Mineta's cool. He's funny, and you gotta have the comic relief, especially in anime like that. They have some serious moments, and then like, when Night Eye dies, that's heavy. And Mineta, he's just a comic relief, and him being pervy is just part of who Mineta. That's what makes Mineta funny. I mean, when he walks up to what's old girl's name when they're looking through the rooms and he's got that weird emotion that
Yeah.
I cried. I laughed till I cried. That shit was hilarious. I mean, is it perverted as a motherfucker? But it was funnier than it was perverted.
Do it again, Angelo. Do it again.
Like it was just funny as hell to me, and just to say it, just to have it there. I mean, he does have people stop him, but he also has people that that agree with him that they should go let people in the girls in the shower. What's the electric dude's name?
Kaminara.
Yes, he's with him the whole time. Nobody says nothing about him. Manetta is just ballsy enough to do it.
Yeah, and Kaminara, and I think that's another thing. I don't think Kaminara is as popular as Manetta is. Kaminara, I mean, when you think about it, it's like Manetta technically has like star power. You know what I'm saying? Like he has an it factor to him, and he has that. I know the pervness is one part of it, and then he has also there's always that one character in anime who's always kind of like afraid and like, I'm not doing it. You have Krillin in Dragon Ball Z, you got Usopp in One Piece. Like you always have those characters like, I don't think we should do this. Like just chill and like wait, and like that's kind of who that character is. So I think the character's definitely needed because if not, like in the show, like you miss him. I think he brings something to the show that
he has dynamic to it.
Don't. Yeah,
he has his own dynamic.
And like I agree with you, Doug. There are other people who have more powerful quirks. They use them better. The guy from the tournament arc where he controls people with his mind. Does he belong there? Yeah, but it's different. But he's not the most useless one, in my opinion.
No.
Okay.
And we've seen that. Like, we've seen him in multiple times where like he uses his quirk and like it's very, very helpful.
Let's just say this. We've seen Manetta in a fight. We haven't seen certain ones in a fight. Which ones? I'm not
going to do shit.
Well, we have seen some not do nothing.
Yes, a lot of times. The transitioning over to like the next thing is I think about 2 minutes left. Is this is gonna be like two different ones, and the first I thought that this is gonna be like the third time we talked about this, but like this. But what anime you would like to see be made into a live action film? We're gonna do film, and then we're gonna do television show, but live action film. Angelo, I'm gonna let you start off because yours is always the one we always start with.
I'm gonna go ahead and Sailor Moon it. Give me a live update for Sailor Moon. Easy, and not too demanding on CGI, but throw in some, make it look cool. And like another thing, to me, what I thought was cool is that we have a bigger female anime fan base than we've ever had. Like there's more females making anime now than I knew of. And as a guy, I'm not complaining about it.
Yeah.
That's cool as hell. Let the girls have something and shit. Sailor Moon. Who didn't have a crush on Sailor Moon? To be honest.
Yeah, Sailor Moon got everything I think an anime, a studio would need for to make an anime adaptation. It's not too demanding on the studio to provide like any big CGI, anything crazy. It has a great female audience and male audience because males and females both watch Sailor Moon. There's not something just the females watch. Not only that, it has the name recognition. Sailor Moon is one of the most popular anime of all time. I think if you go back and look at like even the numbers at the time, where it was going head up with Dragon Ball Z. So, and we know how popular Dragon Ball Z is, but it's like that's how popular it is. Granted, that's a very, very good one. I'm gonna go ahead and go with mine, and this is definitely for the movie. I'm saying I'm still gonna harken to G Gundam because I think Gundam is also a well-known brand, and the fact that G Gundam has it to where like the only issue I can see with G Gundam is the fact that like the tournament was based off of like sections in like parts of the country. Only thing they would have to change about that, I would think, is like we kind of have it like kind of sort of how it was in anime, where like this is more of a war torn type thing. The Earth isn't like as
vibrant and lifeful.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And so the person, and I think that's how it was in the anime. Like the country who won got to like go out of space, right?
No, they got to rule space.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got
what?
space.
Yeah, so it's like, and like, and all of those characters in G Gundam were like 3-dimensional characters. Like all of them had like their own personality, and I think it's not hard to cast. Like you don't necessarily have big name actors, anything, and there's no whitewashing in that because you're going to have a Japanese character, you're going to have a Chinese character, Russian, American. There's so many different, people from France. You have these different types, so I think that not only appeases to like a United States audience, but like a worldwide audience. Because everybody probably would want to see, like, yo, what did they do with us? Like, and like, I think there's a way to please everyone, but at the same time, you kind of got to know, like, this is based off other material, so you might not get necessarily what you want, man. Yeah, I'm definitely, I'm still stuck on G Gundam. I want that movie, man.
Only thing I would say about it is that we didn't do too good on mech suits. That is my only problem. That would be my only concern. But would I like to see a G Gundam? Yes, of course. A Gundam movie would be great. But to me, I'm not confident in our skills to make a mecha suit. Look at Power Rangers. That's what I'm ready as our latest.
My movie is G Gundam. Why I think we can do the mech suits is Pacific Rim.
That's the one I'm going with.
And Transformers. Like, Transformers been around for what, 10, 12 years? Like,
yes.
Look great 2008. He looks great now. They look good. So, like, I don't know what they tried to do with Power Rangers. Like, I feel like that's like the exception and not the rule. Like,
that's like the worst one.
Like, yeah, that's like the worst one. Like, Pacific Rim looks great. Transformers looks great. My vote is G Gundam, like, as far as the movie. Like, I think it has that specific series may not have the name, but the Gundam name has like the series like you talked about. And I think like people can get behind it for the same reason you said. So, like, my vote.
What's the movie we saw? No, even in Pacific Rim and in Ready Player One, we saw Gundam in both of those movies, and they look fantastic.
They're great.
So I definitely think Gundam is, because it's not super. Not how to transform. Like, Transformers are like super complex with how they look. Well, they made it. They dumbed it down for like a Bumblebee or whatever. But like the Gundam like is a very simple like suit, and like I think it's not like required to have all these like different like little gadgets and shit. Like maybe the cockpit or something like that. But like the outside, it's pretty like a very simple complex. I mean, yeah.
So basically, I think I have a really good one for the TV show, but I'm going to mention the ones that I thought for movie first. As far as
one.
Well, basically, I mentioned it before, but apparently there was already a movie. I didn't know. I mentioned originally Rurouni Kenshin, and Moses mentioned there already was one. So I was like, okay, so I had to rethink it. We had mentioned Death Note before, but that's already made as well, so there's no point in mentioning that. But I'd say give us a Pokemon movie. We already have Detective Pikachu. It was a hit.
Movie.
We got a Pokemon movie.
We got Detective Pikachu, yes, but I'm talking about actual base, like Pokemon itself.
Oh no, come on! Like we have a Rurouni Kenshin and Death Note, even though they weren't like major U.S. film, like we still have one. Like you can't ask for like Pokemon actually got released in America by American companies.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu actually have post right there.
And it was successful. Like, come on, like, you said because you are a Pokemon fanatic.
I am a Pokemon fanatic.
Yeah.
I am a Pokemon fanatic. I want to go watch it. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is amazing, but I'm going more because that was very off main series. It really wasn't the Pokemon that we basically know, or that I know at least, with the battling and everything. In general, there was one battle in the movie.
But okay. I get that. But I think your point, like with movies, we talked about this with all the movies, right? People like us are gonna go see it regardless.
That's true.
the people who generally aren't interested in Pokemon or wouldn't pay to go see a movie. So like, you know what? That's actually kind of like I'd go see that.
Gotcha.
I think they did what they thought people would go see.
Yeah, and the fact that I think that's getting a sequel too. So it's like, what you think people gonna go see? Just a regular Pokemon movie where they get introduced to a guy who wants to be a Pokemon trainer and probably lose at the end, if you're being honest. Or like a sequel to something that they already had. Most of the time, they don't go with that.
Maybe a sequel, yes, exactly. I know. That's one thing I would personally like to see. But again, that's why I don't really have a good one for movie. That's why I'm going to mention the TV one. The best one for TV, I think, would be Inuyasha.
TV's tough. I feel like you can take just about any anime and do TV. So I got two things with TV. Like, if I had to pick, like, I'm gonna say Naruto. I'd like to see Naruto and TV. Like HBO pick up Naruto, and then I'm probably biased on this one because I just finished watching. I would really like to see Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer has a nice story that I feel like this just has HBO written all over it to pick up demons and the fighting. Like Demon Slayer, I think would make great TV. That like if you made it into a TV series, people wouldn't even think anime. I feel like it could have like that cult following of like, you know, something like Game of Thrones or like even Friends, right? Like people would just like gravitate to it. Like I remember Angela, what's the vampire show that used to come on HBO back in the day? They were Louisiana vampires. True Blood. Like it would have that type of following if Demon Slayer became a TV show. But like I would like to see Naruto, but I think Demon Slayer would probably be a little easier, you know, from a CGI standpoint, because you know you can do prosthetics with demons or whatever the case is. And I think the story is great. Like the story is really interesting.
Well, the reason I'm actually mentioning Inuyasha was because I feel like it's always been more drama heavy, and a lot of the I'm just it's drama heavy. It's very drama heavy, and I feel like it attracted a lot of the female audience, especially even back when it came out in the '90s. I'm just going off that basic perspective, and even for the guys, there's a lot of action. You know, not every episode is like action packed, but I mean, for me, there was a few fights I actually personally liked.
Okay, because I do this thing about what both of y'all said, and I honestly, I'm picking the studios for you. Naruto, I don't know. Okay, but Inuyasha is definitely. I think that as a Netflix film, as a Netflix show. Reason being because Inuyasha kind of reminds me of The Witcher.
Yep.
And I think they got that could definitely work. I think Inuyasha 100% can work. Demon Slayer definitely is going over to HBO because I think he's going to probably hit on some pretty serious stuff. They'll probably age Tanjiro a little bit and stuff like that. I like both of those. If I'm being honest, I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards Inuyasha just because I'm still riding the wave of The Witcher, and I really enjoyed that. Even though I feel like Inuyasha gives you a lot of fluff in the anime. Yeah. Like there's a lot of times where you just kind of like, yo, what is happening? Like, does this even matter? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, those are two good ones. What you got, Angelo? I know what I'm going with, man.
Making a TV show for an anime, that's tough. I never thought about it, but like, I do like the Demon Slayer by HBO. That I would love to see that, in my opinion.
HBO, if you're listening, I need my name in the credits.
That's a check.
The Inuyasha as a Netflix, I can see that happen. That's pretty cool too. That's something I would watch. But anime, I personally would like to see as a live TV show. That's tough. I have to think about it. Honestly, I never sat down and thought about it.
Well, I know mine, and it's easy, and it's Trigun because it's super simple. There is this gunman, like it kind of has you like thinking about Roman Kitchen in a sense. There is a gunman who's known for destroying an entire city, who doesn't want to kill anyone, only wants peace. Yet he has a reputation as a humanoid typhoon, has a $60 billion double dollar bottle on his head. A guy who just wants to like just mind his own business and help people out. But the entire world is after him on a planet that is deserted. And like it kind of gives me a Book of Eli or Logan type feel where it's just like, yo, this guy. And like Vash is always funny. And like it didn't have a whole bunch of characters introduced to it where they got out of hand or anything like that. You got Vash, you got Wolfwood, you got I think it was Mary and the other girl, the two girls that just constantly follow him. And so the fact that like he got raised by humans, yet his brothers is a fucking psychopath who doesn't want nothing but the destruction of all humans. And like who manipulates him, who puts people in his lap and constantly and like Vash is like a very, very deep story because if you watch it, he tries his best, but a lot of times a lot of people around him, people he meet and like he cool with, they often die. So it's like this is a guy who don't want nothing but peace, but like everybody he can't protect the people he want to, and everybody who meets him ends up dying. So I think it's like. And it's like the only thing he does is like shoot guns. Granted, a lot of people think he's human, but he's not. Like it's an episode literally like people they're having like gunfights, and in order to stop people from getting shot and like vital parts, he throws pebbles to switch the trajectory of the bullets, so it like hit him in spots that won't kill him. Like Trigun is my shit. Like I just been recently watching it. So I think that's why I'm probably kind of like high up of it right now. But like, yeah, I'm trying to mine, dog.
I think personally, I would like to see a G Gundam TV show because like Domon and Rain, they have a character development together that's something you can't just put in 2 hours, in my opinion. That's something like you watch it once a week, and you grow with the character. Domon. Hisashi, all Jiminy Cricket. You go with all of them. I think that'd be dope. Like do it like Game of Thrones. Like you introduce all the characters at different times, and then at the tournament they meet, right? Like how they did Game of Thrones. They had all these other like the Lannisters and all that shit. I think if you did G Gundam like that, and then you build up who you want in the tournament and stuff, and just go at it at the tournament. Like release a movie of G Gundam as a tournament, I think that'd be pretty cool. I like to see G Gundam in a TV series.
Yeah, I think we would, but that's a fucking budget. Like every like
Big budget.
that's when we get into big like bro. That budget would be fucking. That's a $1 billion budget.
Yeah.
I mean,
Actually, I just thought of one more.
I think it would be high. I think it would be similar to. I don't know what Netflix's budget is for the last Avatar series, but that's gonna be a hefty budget. That's a lot. That's gonna be a CGI. If they don't dumb down some of the fights and stuff like that, every episode.
Yeah.
Probably more than
how they do that.
Probably more than Game of Thrones too, as far as budget wise.
Well, I mean, because Game of Thrones had episodes where there was no CGI. Like you could have probably, maybe a season we had like no real CGI until like the dragons and stuff showed up.
Yeah.
Like the dire.
That's what I was mentioning.
Right, yeah, Game of Thrones, but like Game of Thrones had a big budget from a standpoint. Like they had some pretty amazing sets. And like from a CGI, I mean, they say a good CGI, but like I don't think Game of Thrones would be in the same.
I mean, that last season, every episode budget was $15 million. That's more than some movies. Like a lot of movies.
But anyway, last one I thought about was actually Shield Hero. It just crossed our mind at the very end. I think Shield Hero would be a good TV show. Controversy.
A lot of fucking Joffrey there.
Oh yeah, if that was a TV show like real, I wouldn't watch it because it would piss me off, but it would be good.
Joffrey's playing the spirit guy, without a doubt. The dude who played Joffrey, he's definitely got a spirit role.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
I already hate this guy enough. Don't do that. I already hate that guy.
Yeah, I still want to punch him. Like to this day, I still want to punch him. Yeah, I think that's pretty tough to like put him in that position. But as another hated role, God God, yes, I'm about
Feel
to
You gotta
bad for the
respect
guy.
that man. That man played a character, not someone everybody can love, but somebody everybody can hate. That's tough to be somebody you love.
I mean, you gotta give him credit because he played the part great. Like,
He did. He did.
Fucking piece of shit.
There's not one time I can pretty much say it for everybody. There's not one time he walked on the scene you did not want to punch him.
So
Yeah.
agreed.
That was not
completely.
once. Not once.
I wonder if the kid had to go to therapy afterwards after playing that role. After getting so much hate from people.
I think he got death threats in like real life though.
I bet.
Yeah.
Moses, what's next?
Crazy.
To wrap it up.
You know what? Yeah, I think that was actually the wrap up, to be honest. Like, where we at, cuz?
Hour.
Or we just hit an hour. Just hit.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think it's like all of that. I think that's how we got to do it. We got to like proportion out because I think we spent 20 minutes on each thing. We spent 20 minutes on like the Star Wars. We spent 20 minutes on My Hero. We spent 20 minutes on like the last live action stuff. So yeah, I think that's how we're gonna do it next time.
Should wrap up every podcast with like just a random question. It's like a random question about anything.
Fuck it.
My random question for you guys.
You got one?
Yeah, I got a random question for you guys. All-time favorite Power Ranger. Go.
That's
easy. You piece of shit.
Power Ranger, the guy or just the one Ranger?
You can only pick one all-time favorite Power Ranger.
Hold on.
Shit.
Even you can only pick one, like from like any, like he has to be, like let's say I can't pick Tommy from like the Green Ranger, or I can't pick Tommy as I have to pick Tommy as the Green Ranger or Tommy as the White Ranger.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So I go first. Bar none, Tommy as the Green Ranger, cause you remember I had the little green glove, the song, and the dragon dagger. Like for me, Tommy I loved him as the White Ranger, but him as the Green Ranger, and I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and that's what the Dragon Zord reminds me of. Tommy as the Green Ranger, by far my favorite, and this is probably gonna shock y'all. Honorable mention, Andros, the Red Ranger from Power Rangers in Space, is probably number 2 for me.
I couldn't think of his name. I could not think of his name.
Honorable mention number 2.
Is that him from Zeo?
You what now?
No. Zeo is Tommy still. Tommy is still Zeo Red Ranger.
Oh.
Yeah, Tommy's Red Ranger and Zeo, but Power Rangers in Space, Andros, long hair, like he's like
I like Andros.
All-time
I
favorite.
want to watch Power Rangers right now. I really want to.
All right, let's go. Who we got?
You want to go ahead, Moses? Okay.
You got it because it seems like you already got yours.
I mean, it's gonna be the White Ranger, and the reason being Tommy as the White Ranger. And the reason I give him the edge over the Green Ranger is one simple thing. I actually didn't start watching Power Rangers till season 2.5, like when he was losing his powers the entire time. So I actually ended up seeing the struggle of him doing this stuff and all this extra stuff. On top of that, when I was like 5 years old, my mom, I gotta find the picture. I got it somewhere. My mom bought a toy, White Ranger, bought it for me.
I know what you were talking about.
Same exact fucking height as me at the time. I wore the White Ranger uniform. I couldn't take the helmet. I could not take the helmet. I could not take the helmet off. But I wore that vest, spandex. I wore the whole thing. I have to give it to the White Ranger because he was technically like the hype part for me, and I hated the fact that Tommy didn't become the Gold Ranger. Just mentioning that, but yeah, honor and mention for obviously is gonna be the Green Ranger. Second.
Oh,
barely.
Angela, you got yours?
I'll have to go Andros, bro. Tommy's, of course, the all around whatever. He's the OG. I mean, he's the but I have to go with Andros. Andros was always good.
I'm gonna shock everybody with this. I'm gonna shock everybody.
Pink Ranger.
You goddamn right.
I thought I just knew you was finna say Saber-tooth Tiger. I knew that's what.
Let me tell you why. I'm gonna go the Pink Ranger. Let me tell you why. Kimberly was my first ever crush. But it is like my first ever crush. Like Yeah, dog. I'm going Kira.
She still look good in the new Power Ranger
dude,
movie.
Sammy Joe Johnson.
Dude.
Joe Johnson.
My honorable mention is gonna be the Green Ranger. But fuck it, dog. I'm going Pink Ranger, man. I fucking love Kimberly to this day. To this day, you know. Also, Buck and Skull has to be two of the greatest side characters in all of television.
Agreed.
Agreed.
And also, Putties have to be the worst people to ever fight.
Oh, Putties are worse than Stormtroopers.
Oh,
That's accurate.
100%, bro.
oh, hey, and
100%.
before you actually end the whole thing, Moses, I got one thing I gotta say real quick. DBZ made way for the big three.
I always remember that.